All right, Chance Serta with you today, and I have just a thought that I wanted to share with you. And that is, this has taken me over 5 years to really come to learn and understand. But it's something that's radically transformed my business and the business of dozens of clients and that I've worked with. And really, it comes down to what I've been able to see is that the IRS is and Uncle Sam. They're just a business, right? They're a business just like you and I, and they have to have income. And so, what's interesting about the IRS and Uncle Sam is that I figured out they have two products they sell. They sell fear and they sell confusion, right? So fear and confusion are the two products of the IRS. And this is where my journey started. So I didn't go to school to be this number cruncher and accountant. I wanted to run businesses. I was ambitious. I wanted to start businesses. I wanted to be in mergers and acquisitions and be a consultant and do all these different things, right? But I knew I wanted to be in multiple businesses. And so in college, I started my first business. And so it actually kind of worked out better than expected. It started making a little money. And I remember I went to go file my taxes for it the first year. So I remember I'm 20 years old in college, going to file the taxes for this first business I started. And I remember I went to H&R Block because that's just what I've always been around. So I went to H&R Block and ended up taking all my paperwork in there. And I ended up owing a ton of money that I didn't have, right? I was trying to pay for school and do all this different stuff. And I thought the money coming to me was mine. I didn't realize that my tax rate was over 30%. And so I had this, I remember sitting there in the office of H&R Block, and this gentleman's trying to help me. And I can't really understand him. And he's telling me, oh, this form and this, and, this 1040 EZ, but you can't do that because you did this, and, or you dependent, and, oh, what about mileage deductions? And do you have receipts and all this stuff? And I just didn't know. I just really didn't know what was going on. And man, I just remember I was really just like, I had this like deep, like seated fear of like, crap, am I going to get in trouble for all this? Like, am I going to go to jail? Like, are they going to audit me? Am I going to have to owe more money? Like, will they take my business away? And I just remember all these different things going on. And truthfully, I remember going home, and talking with one of my best friends and being like, man, like, do I even want to do this business if I'm going to have to pay half of what I make to Uncle Sam? And I remember I was just so confused and afraid and like, didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what audits really meant, but I was like, man, I don't want to do too much because I don't want to get audited and all this. And so for weeks, I just ignored the problem. I was like, okay, I'll just write the check and I guess I'll just get like another part-time job or try to sell more or whatever to pay for this. And then I think, I was actually reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, and one of the chapters in there was funny. The timing. I was reading one of the chapter on. It was called "The History of Taxation," and I started reading about this and how if you own a business, you get all these benefits and deductions that you can't have if you don't own a business. And I was like, well, I own a business. Maybe there's some that I just didn't use or I didn't know about. And so that question is like, I wonder if there's some benefits that I'm just not tapping into. I wonder if there's some gold that I'm just not mining when it comes to these taxes and having to pay all this. And so that led me on this journey of really, just for my business, trying to understand how the IRS and our government looks at taxing businesses. And what I've figured out over the years is that really, if you own a business, the IRS is your best friend. They are your best friend. A lot of times I call him my long lost rich uncle. And he really is. Like he's like that uncle that you never really talk to and you always kind of hear about but never really hung out with, that's got this money for you. But it's like you have to do certain things to like earn his trust and approval to get them. And that's really, today I don't see the IRS as like this big enemy that we've got to go to battle against. Like they're really powerful. We don't want to battle them. There's no reason to. I really see them as someone who offers all these things to us as business owners, but that he just requires us to be thoughtful and to be calculated and to be responsible for what it is that you're deducting. And here's the thing, the tax code is massive. It's over 4 times as many words as all the Harry Potter books put together, right? It's huge. 7 times as many words as in the Bible. And all of them are full of these little golden nuggets hidden in the tax code, right? So a perfect example of one is the Augustus Strategy. And so there's a tax law that says if you own a business, which you do if you're watching this, that you can rent out your house to your business for a certain number of weeks for the year, and that all of that money that your business pays to you as a person is not taxed, right? And so typically for most people, that's about just that right there is anywhere between $800 and $1,500 in tax savings. So that means if you're going to owe $10,000, now you're only going to owe $8,500, just with that one rule. And there's over 80 different strategies that I'm familiar with and have learned on. And there's way more than that. Those are just the ones that I know and use. And so it really, I had to get out of this mindset of being so fearful and confused by the tax code, and really being able to come to the place where we're now, Uncle Sam's my best friend. Uncle Sam helps me grow my business every single day. And he wants to do the same for you. All that he requires is that you be mindful about it and you do it in a very strategic and deliberate way. And so that's really, that's really what has allowed me to kind of grow. And that's why I do this for businesses. Cause I remember, I just remember thinking so much. I was like, man, I'm going to shut down my business. Like, why am I going to work so hard and so long and sacrifice so much to pay 40 or 50, 30, 40, 50% in taxes to the IRS? Why would I even do that? Like, what is it even worth? I'll just go get another part-time job or something. And so it came down to really, it wasn't a matter of, oh, I'm overpaying in taxes. No, it came down to, why am I even doing this? And the thing is that I saw so many of my friends with businesses going through the same thing. And I had such a radical transformation when I overcame those beliefs that the IRS was out to get me. I saw such a radical transformation in me that I was like, man, what could that do for another business owner? What could that do for someone who'd been in business for 15 years, right? And had been overpaying for all this time and just getting beat down with this hammer of the IRS. That, what would it be like for them to realize, hey, Uncle Sam wants to help me grow my business. Uncle Sam wants me to create jobs and to prosper and make all this money, right? And so that's what I invite you to is to join me in that thinking, join me in that mindset shift of, there's absolutely no reason to be afraid of the IRS. They're people just like you and I, and they actually want you to succeed. And the confusion that's there is there for a reason, right? It's there because Uncle Sam has a business, and he doesn't want his business failing because he makes it really simple. And so that's the reason that a lot of these tax coders are so complex and there's so many nuances to them. And so being able to have that shift, just that one thing, if you can believe that one thing, that the IRS wants your business to succeed. If you can do that one thing, your entire business will change and your entire life will change because of it. And that's what I'm here to help you do. That's why I do what I do is to help you in that transformation.